This video brings an urgent security alert that Jesus specifically wants you to hear. Your digital account has just triggered a spiritual lockdown, and he's worried you might not understand what's really happening. This isn't just another security warning video. It's a divine revelation about spiritual attacks on your online presence. Jesus cares deeply about your digital spiritual life and would be concerned if you miss this critical alert about what's targeting your access to divine content. The message you're about to receive has been carefully arranged to reach you at this exact moment. Before it's too late, there's a divine appointment happening right now as you watch. Don't close this video, because what you're about to learn could protect your spiritual digital identity from being completely compromised. This isn't an ordinary security message. It's a divine alert about spiritual warfare targeting your digital access to God's messages. Jesus has been watching spiritual attacks on believers' online presence with loving concern, noticing both your faithful engagement and the forces trying to block it. Missing this particular warning could mean losing access to the divine content that feeds your soul daily. This alert marks a limited time opportunity that's opening right now to secure your spiritual digital identity before the enemy completely blocks your access. Jesus cares so deeply about your digital spiritual journey that he would be genuinely worried if you failed to recognize this cyber spiritual attack. That's why this security message found you today. Your attention to this video isn't random. It's a divinely orchestrated moment designed to help you see the spiritual battle happening over your digital presence. The lockdown isn't just technical. It's a coordinated spiritual attack that you can still prevent if you act now. Every prayer you've said while scrolling through spiritual content has been heard. Every frustrated moment when divine messages seem to disappear from your feed has been noticed. All the times you've wondered if spiritual content was being hidden from you, yet continued to search for it anyway, have been honored. Your concerns about digital spiritual warfare haven't gone unnoticed. Those moments when you felt others were seeing powerful spiritual posts, but yours seemed filtered out. Jesus saw your confusion. The times when your faith in accessing divine content online felt challenged, yet you kept seeking anyway. That persistence was recognized in heaven. The effort it took to keep finding spiritual content when algorithms seemed to work against you has been deeply valued. The frustration you've carried about spiritual censorship, sometimes too overwhelming to share with others, has all been acknowledged. Digital spiritual warfare isn't always obvious, and online spiritual attacks aren't always clear. Jesus understands this challenge, which is why he's making this particular security warning so unmistakable. The spiritual security threat Jesus wants you to recognize appears in everyday digital moments, but is often overlooked because it seems like normal technical issues. This attack shows up in spiritual posts suddenly disappearing, divine content being marked as spam, or your access to certain spiritual channels being mysteriously restricted. It appears in spiritual videos not showing up in your recommendations, prayer requests being shadow banned, or Christian content creators seeming to vanish from your feeds. This spiritual cyber attack is uniquely targeted at your specific digital spiritual journey, something the enemy has personally designed to cut you off from divine messages. It connects directly to the spiritual content you've been seeking and the divine messages you've been receiving online. The enemy chose this particular digital attack because it knows exactly how to disrupt your spiritual growth through technology. The window to recognize and stop this spiritual cyber attack won't remain open forever. When you finally see it, you'll realize how systematically your digital spiritual access has been under assault. When you recognize this spiritual cyber attack targeting your digital access, many confusing technical issues you've experienced will suddenly make perfect sense. Disappeared spiritual posts, blocked divine content, and restricted access to Christian channels will all connect in a beautiful moment of divine clarity. Jesus has wonderful news for you today. Your digital spiritual discernment is growing stronger, and important protective actions are becoming available to you now. The divine has noticed your dedication to accessing spiritual content online, and now you've been chosen to receive this special digital protection. This moment marks something significant in your online spiritual journey. It's a clear indication that your digital spiritual sensitivity is growing stronger every day. Something incredibly meaningful is unfolding in your relationship with Jesus. Through digital platforms, far deeper than you might have imagined possible, the recognition of this cyber-spiritual attack begins a digital awakening that will transform your entire online spiritual experience, securing your access to divine content forever. There's a wave of heavenly attention surrounding your digital spiritual life right now. You're becoming more spiritually attuned to online warfare, naturally drawing divine cyber protection into your daily digital experience. Recognizing this spiritual attack brings heightened awareness of Jesus' protection over your digital spiritual access. More spiritual insights about online security will begin flowing to you than ever before. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this season of digital spiritual warfare you're facing. Your digital prayers and spiritual engagement matter more than you realize. Your online spiritual sensitivity inspires heaven to intervene in cyber attacks. Your digital faith makes a difference in the spiritual atmosphere around your internet access. This divine cyber protection shows that Jesus deeply values your role as a digital spiritual seeker. Each spiritual post you've shared and divine content you've engaged with has developed your ability to recognize this attack now. Jesus delights when you finally see the digital spiritual warfare he's been trying to reveal. The timing of this digital security warning is no coincidence. It comes now because you're spiritually ready to recognize and respond to cyber-spiritual warfare. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in digital spiritual discernment and online faith maturity. Your spiritual eyes are now open enough to see digital attacks that might have been invisible to you before. Your heart has expanded through online spiritual challenges. Your digital wisdom has deepened through experience with spiritual content being restricted or removed. Your soul is now prepared to receive this divine cyber protection more clearly than ever before. All the frustrating digital experiences you've faced have been preparation for recognizing this coordinated spiritual attack on your online access. Nothing in your digital spiritual journey has been wasted. Every blocked post and restricted video has shaped your ability to recognize spiritual cyber warfare when it appears. This particular attack is connected to larger digital spiritual battles happening across all platforms right now. If you're feeling grateful for this divine cyber protection warning, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more to support our channel's mission of sharing these important digital spiritual security messages. Your generosity helps these divine cyber warnings reach those who desperately need to protect their online spiritual access. When you give, you participate in a sacred exchange that allows us to continue creating content that connects people with heaven's timely digital protection in these cyber warfare times. As you begin to recognize this cyber-spiritual attack on your digital access, new protective awareness will naturally develop in your online spiritual life. This clearer digital vision brings new responsibilities, not just to secure your own spiritual content access, but to help everyone in your digital circle who might be facing similar attacks. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in Jesus' work of digital spiritual protection. This revelation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity as a cyber guardian for other believers. Finding balance becomes essential during this digitally charged spiritual warfare time. While securing your own spiritual content access, remember to nurture your practical faith through prayer, scripture, and community, both online and offline. These spiritual disciplines have shaped who you are as a digital believer and will continue to support you. As you grow into this expanded role as someone who recognizes spiritual cyber attacks, as you become sensitive to this digital spiritual warfare, think about how you can help others who are still missing similar cyber attacks on their spiritual content access. Your experience shows that Jesus is constantly communicating digital protection warnings, even when we fail to notice the spiritual significance behind technical issues. Heaven witnesses every moment when someone recognizes cyber spiritual warfare before losing complete access to divine content. Your story of receiving this digital warning brings hope to people feeling disconnected from online spiritual community or wondering if God still protects believers in digital spaces. Your digital awareness becomes a light that helps others develop eyes to see the spiritual cyber attacks Jesus is revealing all around them. This warning about digital spiritual warfare isn't meant to be a private blessing. It's an invitation to help others experience the same divine cyber protection. Jesus often works through those who have recently recognized spiritual attacks to help awaken others who are still missing the signs of digital warfare targeting their faith. As you navigate this new level of digital spiritual protection, stay consistently alert to cyber attacks on your faith. Jesus reminds you that while recognizing one spiritual security threat is wonderful, it's just the beginning of a lifetime of digital spiritual warfare. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to see this cyber attack on your spiritual content access in the first place. Guard against returning to digital complacency that made you miss important spiritual security warnings in the past. Let your cyber spiritual awareness continue to flow from genuine faith and daily attention to Jesus' digital guidance. With this new ability to recognize spiritual cyber attacks comes ongoing responsibility to remain watchful for digital threats against your faith. Use this gift wisely to discern true divine digital warnings from ordinary technical problems or false spiritual alarms. Not every glitch is a spiritual attack, but Jesus will make truly important cyber threats unmistakable. Embrace this journey of digital spiritual protection with both humility and confidence, showing others that recognizing Jesus' cyber warnings comes from staying connected to Him daily. Picture a future where you consistently recognize Jesus' warnings about digital spiritual attacks before they can block your access to divine content. Imagine heavenly cyber protection surrounding your online spiritual life, divine security alerts arriving precisely when needed, and your understanding of digital spiritual warfare expanding beyond anything you've experienced before. Jesus stands with you, encouraging you to embrace this journey of cyber spiritual protection with complete trust. This is truly your moment to experience deeper divine connection through recognizing His warnings about digital spiritual warfare. This marks the beginning of a time when your digital spiritual perception, wisdom, and security will be more aligned with heaven than ever before. Accept this cyber blessing with gratitude, and remember that you're surrounded by divine digital support on this journey of online spiritual awakening. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience Jesus' guidance through digital protection signs that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually attuned cyber awareness. What joy awaits as you learn to read the divine language of digital security. If this digital protection message has awakened something in your spirit, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a beautiful spiritual exchange and allows us to continue sharing these divine cyber warnings with believers who need them most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to help others recognize the spiritual attacks Jesus is revealing in these digital warfare times. If you're ready to acknowledge that you're experiencing cyber spiritual attacks, type 999 in the comments below as your declaration of digital spiritual awareness. The journey of recognizing divine warnings about digital spiritual warfare continues beyond this. Revelation. As you step into new cyber spiritual awareness, stay grounded in prayer and scripture that keeps your digital discernment sharp and accurate. Every spiritual cyber attack you recognize could be the exact warning someone else has been waiting to see about their own digital spiritual struggles. Your growing online spiritual sensitivity serves as inspiration for others wondering if Jesus still protects believers in digital spaces today. Move forward with an attentive heart, a watchful mind, and a responsive spirit ready to secure your digital spiritual access when threats appear. Create opportunities for others to recognize divine cyber warnings. As you enjoy the protection coming to your own online spiritual life, the spiritual language of digital protection has always been part of how Jesus cares for those who love Him. By choosing to pay attention to these cyber warning signs, you join a long tradition of faithful believers who have learned to recognize His protective voice in everything around them, including the digital realm where your faith journey continues. Daily,